Hello and welcome to the HugglePets in the Community Progress and Impact Report for Year 1 with the National Lottery Community Fund. First and foremost, we would like to introduce you to the Chair of the Board, Mike Dixon.
The last 12 months have been particularly hard for us all, with impacts on the local community financially, physically and mentally. The Board would like to thank the staff, volunteers and supporters of HugglePetsCIC for their continued effort to support the mental health and well-being of those in the Black Country. I am proud to present this Progress and Impact Report for our first year with the National Lottery Community Fund.
This report discusses who we are, what we do and the impact we have made during a global pandemic. First of all, who are we? HugglePets in the Community was established in May 2018 with the vision to motivate, inspire and empower people to look after their own mental health and well-being via the utilisation of animals and therapies. We are the first in the UK to have a crowd-funded sensory community aquarium and sensory activity centre. So what do we do to meet our vision? We believe in the power of animals. Animal-assisted therapy was first discovered in 1792 in a York retreat in England. It was later recognised in 1933 when Sigmund Freud's dog, Jofi, attended all of his therapy sessions. Freud noticed that with Jofi there, the patients felt more comfortable and made it easier for patients to take more away from therapy. So why is our service of animal-assisted therapy needed in the Black Country? The West Midlands Combined Authority Mental Health Report states, in 2015 there were 477 deaths recorded as suicide, with men more than 3 times more likely to kill themselves than women. The NHS Children's and Young People's Mental Health Survey England 2020 states, in 2020 1 in 6, which is 16% of children aged 5 to 16 years, were identified as having a probable mental disorder, increasing from 1 in 9, which is 10.8% in 2017. The increase was evident in both girls and boys. City of Wolverhampton Council's Health and Wellbeing Strategy states more than half of all mental health conditions in adulthood begin before the age of 14. It is clearer now, more than ever, that the mental health of people in the West Midlands alone is only getting worse. Added to that, the COVID-19 pandemic. Here is how HugglePets in the Community responded throughout 2020. In April 2020, at the start of the pandemic, the National Lottery Community Fund awarded HugglePets in the Community 3 years' worth of funding for our Hug Your Community project. Our Hug Your Community project had 3 important impact objectives. Impact 1. Improve outcomes for children in families with multiple and complex needs. Impact 2. Improve mental health and well-being for children and adults in society. Impact 3. Improve engagement amongst people in society to eradicate loneliness. However, just as we were about to get started, the national lockdown was put in place across the UK, and everything that our project was set up to do, i.e. group workshops, had to be adapted. HugglePets in the Community took the time to develop a series of adaptations to ensure that the objectives could still be met as much as possible and support the most vulnerable in the community. We started by creating virtual group therapy and one-to-one sessions, online wellbeing for children and young people, online coffee mornings, mental health videos with our therapy team, and finally we hired a vehicle in order to transport our animals safely and take our programmes into schools and organisations. Let's take a look at how our adaptations were still able to support those with multiple and complex needs. Through a blend of virtual and social distance activities, we were able to support over 55 families in the Black Country who were struggling with their mental health during the lockdowns. We created a series of activities and projects for children of all abilities to get involved with. All of the children were able to get involved and even meet some of the animals in our sensory activity centre. One of our virtual projects for children was to draw something that made them happy and write a short message that would be featured in a video to share with the elderly in care homes. This project was greatly appreciated by all residents. As the pandemic and a number of lockdowns continued, the mental health and well-being of children and young people in our community continued to be impacted for the worse. We reached out to a number of schools and organisations to support their pupils either in social bubbles or virtually. We were able to support a number of children from across the Black Country with our low mood and anxiety programmes. These animal-assisted intervention programmes included a therapist, animal handlers and a range of therapy animals. This programme in particular was able to support children with anxiety health problems to enter back into education after a series of weeks at home, and even identify young people who were self-harming or had thoughts of suicide. These young people have now been referred to the most appropriate mental health professionals. As a way of engaging with more adult members in the community, we built a series of videos delivered by the therapy team that discussed the most appropriate topics that people were struggling with during lockdown and what they could do to support their own mental health. Some of these included anxiety, bereavement and grief, family relationships, depression and many more. To continue to support the community, we offered a number of virtual programmes such as wellbeing workshops, self-care workshops for teachers, online wellbeing workshops for children and young people, and even one-to-one therapy. During 2020, the pandemic has increased the isolation and loneliness of people in the community. As a way to combat this, we organised and were a part of several activities to help reduce isolation to support people's mental health. We engaged in a number of virtual Tea with a Twist sessions. These are coffee mornings with our therapy animals. This also included animals owned by members of the community. Meet Gilbert, the Golden Retriever, who even dressed up to join us. We also supported the local hospice in Wolverhampton by completing a series of wellbeing calls and visits with our animals where possible. We also supported the local college with their fundraiser in the park. Another adaptation that we decided to do was to engage with the older generation in the Wolverhampton area via radio. As many elderly ones were not tech savvy, we wanted to ensure that we could engage with them and do something fun in a safe way. We had support from local businesses who completed a quiz on the radio over a week to help fundraise for our work. This radio quiz alone reached over 3,000 people a day. So what is the impact of our activities on the community? Meet Faith, 9, and Harry, 14, who both attended the anxiety and low mood programmes. They both enjoyed the sessions and were able to keep calm in school and manage their worries around the return to school and the pandemic. Next we have Kyla, 14, and Tobias, 12. Both children have special educational needs and attended our anxiety and low mood programme. Kyla was able to keep herself calm, utilising the animals and our activities, and Tobias was able to recognise a range of emotions and strategies to deal with them. Here we have Alyssa, 15, who struggles to communicate verbally. Here she meets Gary the snail and tells us, "I am happy." And Finley, age 10, who told us that our sessions have helped him to feel more comfortable about himself. As part of our virtual wellbeing workshops, Louise, who had struggled with suicidal thoughts and feelings, said,
The group suicide awareness sessions were extremely useful as they were on a subject which has affected us all in one way or another. I learned a lot from them. They have proven useful in both my personal and professional life.
Joanne and Max, who attended a family therapy programme, really appreciated the sessions and said,
The sessions helped us both a lot, and that made a huge difference in our relationship. My son has learned how to deal with stress, and I get more confidence being a mom. Super helpful, highly recommended, thank you.
Donna, who lost her husband prior to the lockdown and attended one-to-one therapy, said,
I found the therapy sessions very helpful. I carried a great deal of guilt over not listening as well as I could have done to my husband when alive. The last memories of him not being very well were traumatic. Your therapy sessions helped me to put things into perspective. They showed me how I could remember the happy times. Thank you so much.
As part of our work in the community, our little ambassador Logan, aged 7, made several calls with staff and residents in care homes, showing them a special video and his animals from home, and baking a cake with his mum for key workers. Kat, the Compton Care Health Assistant, said,
"I thought the video was lovely and the pictures are all amazing. Both the video and the chat made me smile and laugh, especially Logan and the giant cookies. We were also lucky enough to receive a visit from Diesel the HugglePets Husky. Thank you, Logan and HugglePets, for making our staff smile."
Here is Jane, one of our fantastic volunteers who perform live music shows with animal-themed music for children, young people and care home residents to lift their spirits during lockdown as part of our Tea with a Twist events. A care home activities coordinator said,
"Thank you for the Live 50s show with Jane. She was fantastic. The residents really enjoyed watching. When it's safe to do a visit, we will come along and have a look around the community aquarium."
So what have we learned as we draw a close on the first year with the National Lottery Community Fund? What is the overall impact of our work? And who are accessing our programmes? In the last 12 months, 34% of males and 66% of females have accessed our animal-assisted therapy programmes, whilst over 4,383 people in the community have engaged with one of our many virtual or social distance Tea with a Twist sessions. 100% of attendees on our animal-assisted therapy programmes reported an improvement in their mental health and well-being. The age range of people attending our programmes are mainly between the ages of 4 and 30, with only 24% aged 31 and above. A total of 120 people accessed animal-assisted therapy during our first year, through what has been the most difficult year both financially, mentally and emotionally, with all 100% of attendees accessing our services stating that they would recommend a friend. We have had 17 volunteers support our programmes and activities last year, some with multiple special educational or mental health needs, as well as corporate volunteers working hard in the background to support the development of our programmes to go virtual. The breakdown in demographics of people in the Black Country accessing our service is as follows: 64.1% from Wolverhampton, 21.9% from Walsall, 3.9% from Dudley and 7.8% from Sandwell, with a further 2.3% from other areas. What else have we learnt? 52% of service users supported were under the age of 15. 60% of our service users were supported for low mood and anxiety. 72% increase in engagement of virtual sessions. And 19% of our service users opted for one-to-one therapy. Part 3, Next Steps. We will continue to 1. Support children and young people to address key mental health and wellbeing concerns in schools and organisations. 2. Support our communities. We will aid members of the community to access mental health support via our animal-related therapies and help reduce isolation. 3. We'll support families to continue to provide access to support for children and families with complex needs. Thank you to all of our service users, supporters and the National Lottery Community Fund for helping us to make a difference to the lives of many vulnerable people in our communities.